dear all, welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's all sit down and practice Literature Part A practice paper. So let's begin with the third question, which is of literature, third, fourth and fifth questions. Comprise of Literature Part A. Starting with the third question, read the extract given below and answer any two of the questions that follow. A. Then as I hurried by as fast as I could, the blacksmith, washer, who was there with his apprentice reading the bulletin, called after me. Don't go so fast, bub, you'll get to your school in plenty of time. I thought he was making fun of me, and reached M. Hamill's little garden all out of breath. Now the first question is, the phrase called after me here refers to tease someone, B. shout at, C. summon or request something, and D. to cause embarrassment. So the correct option here is summon or request something, that is option C. And second question, who was called bub here? A. France, B. M. Hamill, C. villagers, and D. postmaster. Correct option is A. France. The next question here, what has M. Hamill's little garden been referred to in the extract? A. his country, B. his home, C. his garden, and D. his school. So it is his school, option D. Now next is, which word in the passage means same as sufficient? A. breath, B. plenty, C. fast, and D. hurried. So it is B. plenty. Now the second extract, that is B. little has moved with time, it seems, in Firozabad. Years of mind-numbing toil have killed all initiatives and the ability to dream. Why not organize yourself into cooperative? I asked a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen who trapped their fathers and forefathers. Now question number 1 is, why does the narrator ask the young men to organize them into a cooperative? A is to face the police bravely, B to shut bangle making industries, C to derive some indirect benefits, and D to help them come out of vicious circle of the policemen, etc. Okay, so out of this, which is the correct option? That is the D option, to help them come out of the vicious circle of middlemen. Now second is, which of the following words cannot replace the word vicious? Is it ruthless, B. remorseless, C. malevolent, and D. benevolent? So it is D. benevolent, which means kind. Next is, since when the so-called young men had been exploited? Since their childhood, A. Yeah, B. when they grow up, C. since the time of their father, and D. since the time of their ancestors. तो आंसर क्या है? D. since the time of their ancestors, उनको exploit किया जा रहा था young men को. Now next is, fourth is, years of mind numbing toil has killed their, तो इतने सालों की मेहनत has killed their. A is bangle making ability, B. ability to dream and initiate for a change, C is zeal to work, and D. craftsmanship. So it is B. ability to dream and initiate for a change. Next is the extract C. Sometimes I think Grand Central is growing like a tree, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. There's probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about, feeling its way right under the city right now, on its way to Times Square, and maybe another to Central Park. And maybe because for so many people through the years, Grand Central has been an exit, a way of escape. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into, but I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. Now the first question is, narrator says that Grand Central was growing like a tree because A. it had a lot of trees in it, B. He stumbles upon new corridors and staircases. C. It had lots of trees around it. D. It had continuously been under construction. So the correct option is कि जब भी वो जाता था he used to enter into new corridors and staircases. That is option B. Now the next question is identify the figure of speech used in the sentence pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. A. Metaphor, B. Simile, C. Imagery and D. Personification. तो इसमें से कौन सा होगा आपका C. Imagery. Now next question is why did anybody not know about the long tunnel? A. It is a secret tunnel under the city. B. It is kept hidden from public. C. It is a kind of magical tunnel. And D. Because it was not meant for general public. तो इसका the correct answer is why it was not किसी को पता नहीं था just because it is a kind of a magical tunnel. That is option C. What were the speaker's feelings when he described the Grand Central? A. He was shocked. B. He got upset. C. He got anxious. D. He was fascinated. तो जब उसने सुना about the Grand Central, जब उसने describe किया, he was fascinated. Option D. Next is read the extracts given below. अब ये जो fourth question है, इसके जो extracts होते हैं, they are from the poetry, Flamingo. So and attempt any one of the two. दो में से एक attempt करना है, given by answering the questions that follow. So A is all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. I think point का अंदाज़ा आपको हो ही गया होगा कहाँ से है. Now this is from A Thing of Beauty. Which lovely tales does poet mention here? A. The mythological stories. B. Glorious stories of ancestors. C. The stories of bravery. D. The folk tales. तो इसका आंसर है B. Glorious stories of ancestors. And then second is what image does the poet use in these lines? A. Endless fountain of joy. B. Lovely tales. C. Immortal drink. D. Heaven's drink. So it is A. Endless fountain of joy, जो आपके last two lines में आता है. Okay, next is 3. Which literary device is used by the poet in an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink? So it is personification, B. Allegory, C. Imagery and D. Metaphor. So what is it? It is C. Imagery. Now, from where is this immortal drink pouring? From the river. B. From the mountains. C. From the angel's palms. And D. From nature's endless fountain. So the answer is D. From nature's endless fountain. Now extract B. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn around their pallor, the tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes. With what the children are compared to? A. Paper. B. Rat's eyes. C. Rootless weeds. And D. Gusty waves. Now here they are compared to the gusty waves, that is D. 2 is what has possibly weighed down the tall girl's head? A. Her too good height. B. Her embarrassment. C. Burden of her misfortune. And D. Her shyness. So it is C. Burden of her misfortune. Which literary device is used in the first line? Now literary device होता है जो poetic device. A. Imagery. B. Alliteration. C. Symbol. And D. Synodic. अब उन्होंने फर्स्ट लाइन में पूछा एंड our first line says far far, so it is alliteration. Now next is the fourth question. What do you understand by expression rootless weeds? A. Living in poverty. B. Homeless. C. offense, and D. unwanted. They are unwanted. So it is option D. Now next question is question number 5, that is attempt any 8 questions from the 10 given below. 10 में से 8 करने हैं. Now it carries 8 marks, and the first question is, according to M. Hamill, French is the most beautiful language in the world because A. it is the easiest to learn, B. it is the most pleasing to hear, C. it is his mother tongue, and D. it is the clearest and the most logical. So it is D, it is the clearest and the most logical. Part 2, in the poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. The tigers are different from Aunt Jennifer in terms of A. beauty and elegance, B. courage and strength, C. cruelty and shrewdness, and D. food habits and movement. So the answer is B. courage में and strength. 3. According to Pablo Neruda, there would be victory with no survivors. The phrase implies huge loss of human life. B is celebration after winning the battle, and C is huge loss of property, and D is no one left alive to celebrate. So it is option D, no one left alive to celebrate. कोई भी victory मनाने के लिए जिंदा नहीं रहता. 4th is Gandhi's battle for poor sharecroppers in Champaran imply A. the authority of lawyers, B. the power of effective leadership, C. the power of money, and D. the power of unity. So it is D. the power of unity. And 5th is question number 5, what was being taken for granted by the people of Alsace? A. value of school teachers, B. education and value of time, C. power and politics, and D. money. तो क्या लिया जाता था? Value of it is B, that is education and value of time. And next is question number 6, what was the peddler's cherished pastime? A. to think highly of the world, B. to think of plans to rob people, C. to think of people whom he knew caught in the dangerous snare, and D. to think richly of himself. The answer is C. to think of people whom he knew caught in the dangerous snare. Up next question number 7, in the poem A Thing of Beauty, poet refers to clear rills as cooling covert, as they A. are crystal clear, B. absorb negativity, C. provide protection from hot weather, and D. give pure water. C is the correct option because of protection देते हैं from hot weather. Now 8th is, choose the statement that is not true. Not true, I repeat, with reference to the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. A is sensitivity towards the underprivileged, B. lack of interest in learning among underprivileged, C. educating the underprivileged can bring dynamic changes in their lives, and D. social injustice and class inequalities. So the answer is B. Now it was saying not true, lack of interest in learning among underprivileged. Now 9th is, I crossed to oblivion and the curtain of life fell. What does oblivion mean? A. stupefied, B. awareness, C. unconsciousness, and D. death. So it is C. unconsciousness, right? And then 10th is, in the poem My Mother at 66, the poetess was hiding her feelings from her mother so that A. she could catch a flight at the earliest, B. she was very secretive about her feelings, C. she didn't want her mother to know about her pain and feel sad, and D. she wanted to keep her mother in dark. So it is C. she didn't want her mother to know about her pain and feel sad. And that's all for today. Thank you so much. If you like my video, kindly like, share and subscribe, and wait for the part V to come. Thank you. Have a nice day. God bless you.